Alright, now I should be live. Oop, I need to adjust the
There's
window.
no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence.
Thank you, Wanderer. If you don't just make the worst noises. Let me also, while I'm thinking about it, move my little Ko-fi widget here. Just right there is fine. And that'll be where it sits for right now. I had to move it into windowed mode because the game would block my Twitch chat when it's in full screen, and I'm not sure why. Genshin has a little trouble being recorded at full screen on Streamlabs OBS. Could not tell you why. So I'm wanting to do the Secret Summer Paradise event, but to do the Secret Summer Paradise event, and you can see that I just came back from like a break because I have the Stellar Reunion up. To do the Secret Paradise event, I need to do the prerequisite quests. I could quick start, but I kind of want to do the prerequisite quests because I still have time. I've got like 31 days to do this whole event, so I might as well. And get everything out of the story. So I'm going to navigate to Shadow of the Past. And we'll start from here. And hopefully these are voiced. And I won't have to read all of the dialogue. Also, since this happened between recordings last time, thank you to Peep Tier for following. I know that you came from Pumpkin's chat, and I really appreciate you checking me out. If you happen to see this or catch the VOD. So the quest wants me to go talk to Master Jean. It's always interesting when these quests bring me back to the first city. I actually really like the first city. Not a big fan of going all the way back to Liyue and Inazuma all the time. And of course...
Thank you for coming on such short notice, Honorary Knight. I know you must be busy.
I was going to say, and of course, this is going to be my first time recording a game at 1080p and 60 frames per second. I hope that the quality is not bad, and that the VOD comes through clean. And hopefully I can upload it.
Well, to make a long story short, there's a particular matter at hand that the Knights requires your assistance with.
Can I put this on auto? Oh, not while I have a dialogue option open. The Knights are busy as ever.
Yes, it has been one thing after another recently. Neither myself nor any of the Mondstadt garrison are able to catch a moment of peace. I have recently received multiple reports from the Knights of someone within the Lawrence clan having close dealings with the Fatui.
The Fatui? Again? But who are the Lawrence clan?
Good question. I figured they were just NPCs I had
There
met
was a dark
previously.
period in Mondstadt's history when the aristocracy ruled over the city. The hard-won freedom that followed with the fall of Decarabian was lost once again as slavery spread throughout the land. The first Dandelion Knight, Vanessa, spearheaded the revolution
I never read that comic.
overthrew the old aristocratic system and established the Knights of Favonius, leading Mondstadt to become the city that you see today. The aristocrats that had oppressed the people of Mondstadt were none other than the Lawrence clan.
Oh, Paimon gets
so the
it.
bourgeois.
So the clan's descendants are now scheming with the bad guys to carry out more dubious deeds.
We suspect as much, though we have yet to obtain any solid evidence. The reason I summoned you here today is to ask you to help us further investigate this matter.
Sounds like a job for the Knights of Favonius to me. I'm only an honorary knight.
Unfortunately, the Knights of Favonius and the aristocracy have been at odds with one another for as long as I can remember. We've already considered every possible way of resolving our differences, but it seems the descendants of the aristocracy remain antagonistic towards the knights.
I'm sure there's twinks
No
in
matter
this
what
story,
stance we take
Dave.
when dealing
Calm
with them,
down.
the outcome is always the same. Our efforts only result in adding more fuel to the flames. We could come knocking on their door on the grounds of a search warrant, but if the investigation were to come up empty, I'm afraid tensions and distrust would only increase.
Now, if this were real life, the bourgeoisie would have just paid off the Knights of Favonius. That would have been the common ground that they would have reached. But instead, this is a fantasy world where all of the knights are, like, very moral and
All of our
would not
past
take those
efforts
payments.
would have been wasted.
I technically also belong to the knights.
You are in fact the best candidate to represent the Knights of
I'm literally the
Favonius.
best candidate for everything
But
in this
you
game.
need not emphasize your role as the honorary knight. You're a traveler from a distant land, and you can approach the aristocrats in this way.
Ah, so I'm an
Once you
undercover
come to
cop.
friendly terms with the Lawrence clan, you should be in a good position to learn more of their possible connections with the Fatui.
Whoa. Leave it to Master Jean to come up with such a thorough plan.
Perhaps such plans have become second nature after all the diplomatic issues I've dealt with. The name of the Lawrence clan member in question is Schubert.
Schubert?
Lately, he can often be found strolling near the northern city walls. It is said that he is difficult to get along with due to his temperamental disposition, but if we approach him calmly, then things should go off without a hitch.
I am not scared of a man named Schubert. I don't care how temperamental he is.
Thanks again for your help. If you run into any snags along the way, I'll do anything in my power to support you.
Afros Delos. Is this a character quest? I feel like this is a character quest that I picked up and just never did. Since Eula's on the Secret Summer Paradise banner, I'm going to assume that maybe this is Eula's quest? Question mark? Schubert. I love moving around with Wanderer.
Too slow.
So how's your night been, Dave? Didn't you have D&D tonight?
Huh? Who are you?
Oh, Schubert.
Hello. We're here too.
Hello?
Hello?
What's wrong? Did you just say what's wrong? Huh. And I suppose you think that you can simply strut up here and greet me in such an ignoble and vulgar manner?
There's
Given
a
that
dog
I
barking in
don't
the background. I hope my
recognize you,
mic's not picking
I
them
can
up.
only assume that you are a traveler of some variety. I'll have you know that you are speaking with the Schubert Lawrence, a blood descendant of the magnanimous nobility. If you wish to address me, you'd best consider your words more carefully. Such nonchalant manners are inadmissible and will never do.
Hold on, let me check the recording. Yep, it does seem like the dog is being picked up a little bit. I am very sorry. They should stop soon.
Now, if
It
you're
sounds like
somehow
Isabel. She
capable
usually
of
stops after just a
understanding
moment.
anything I've said, then you will get down on your knees, apologize for your negligent actions, and give me a proper introduction. That is the appropriate etiquette.
That's etiquette? Paimon's never heard of something so complicated before.
In former times, when people knew their place and respected traditions, such conduct was only basic courtesy when greeting a nobleman. And neglecting your manners would result in a swift whipping.
Oh, a whipping.
Look at the world now.
Ah, but look at the
Rules have
world
been
now.
thrown to the wayside
People
and
won't
manners
let me
forgotten.
whip them anymore.
I cannot bear to see such degradation.
Everybody's got these visions, and if I try to whip them, they will whip me with flames and lightning. It's no wonder the aristocracy fell.
What did you say? You dare question the dignity of the nobility?
Yes, I am not your
I'll
friend.
have you know that though the Lawrence clan is in decline, myself and others of noble blood are looking for a chance to restore our rightful honor. Just look around. The people are unruly and undisciplined. I, however, strive to retain the elegance and etiquette of the nobility. After all, we are of a completely different breed by birth.
Dave, if you could get me McFlurry, I'm tired of asking what kind of McFlurries you have down there, so if you could just get me whatever the best McFlurry you have is, I'll take a the best McFlurry that you have. Oreo's okay. Oreos have fine McFlurry, I suppose. It's no like Reese Cup, Reese Piece, or anything of that nature, but Oreo's fine. Nobody really argues with a good Oreo McFlurry. What? Just because I'm not like super excited about Oreos in my McFlurry?
Save your words. I find your
Save
manners
your
very
words.
repulsive.
Oreo
I
McFlurry
have
is the
nothing to
best
discuss with the
McFlurry
likes
at the
of you.
McDonald's.
Besides, I am in no way obligated to instruct commoners on basic courtesies. Now I have more pressing matters to attend to. I'll take my leave.
I can't believe you're siding with
So
Schubert.
this is what Master Jean meant by difficult to get along with. What?
Connecting on a personal level with Schubert. A. Dubert.
Well, if it isn't the honorary knight. I'm just on my way out to gather some intel. I didn't expect to run into you here. Huh? Judging by your expression, you must
It's
have run into some trouble.
Amber.
Master Jean tasked us with a special
Everybody
assignment,
loves Amber.
but things seem to have run aground for the moment.
Absolutely nobody hates Amber, and it has nothing to do with how incredibly weak she is in this game. It was not our fault.
No need to get down on yourself. Sometimes things just don't turn out as planned. Even I can't guarantee useful intel every time I'm dispatched. You just have to keep at it and never give up.
That's Amber for you. Everybody clap.
Hey, why don't you let me try to help? What's the problem?
Master Jean asked us to build a connection with someone named Schubert Lawrence. But it turns out that he's a peculiar character that doesn't listen to anyone. Especially Paimon.
He's a peculiar character. He
Schubert,
really
I know
loves
him. Let
Oreo
me guess, He
McFlurries.
said you didn't have any manners.
Sounds like you're no stranger to his rants.
I've been on the receiving end of his lectures many a time. The Lawrence clan can be very particular about such things.
You mean everyone in the Lawrence clan is just a big headache?
That's the
As
bourgeois.
aristocrats, they believe there should be a certain distance between themselves and common folk. I understand their thinking, but that's just not how things are anymore. However, there is one exception among the Lawrence clan. My good buddy,
Yep.
Eula.
It sure is the Eula questline.
Buddy?
That's right. Not only is she from the Lawrence clan, but she's also captain of the Knights of Favonia's 4th Company.
See, I pick up these character quests because I keep, like, capping out on the keys, and then I don't remember which characters the quests are connected to. And sometimes I just accidentally trigger them by walking into areas. So I may stream some character quests in the future, and you'll know because I will have skipped the first part of the quest where you accidentally trigger it. Let's see. Jean told us that the Lawrence clan sees the knights as enemies. So why would Eula be one of them?
Eula is special. She's not quite like the other members of her clan. She has her own beliefs and it shows. In other words, she doesn't really adhere to the strict rules and conventions of her family. However, she's still quite knowledgeable about dealing with the Lawrences. I'm sure you'll see what I mean if you meet her.
That's strange. If Eula is a member of the Lawrence clan, then why would Master Jean choose us for the task? Couldn't she just ask Eula?
Well, it's a little complicated. Basically, the Lawrence clan has frowned upon the fact that Eula joined the Knights. Her family members don't particularly care for her. In their eyes, Eula is nothing but a traitor to the family.
I bet she's the only one that looks like a playable character and is pretty and has a vision. And that's probably why they hate her. Because she's not NPC-faced. She sounds like quite the character that you can play as.
She's very easy to get along with. Just explain the situation, and I'm sure she'll help you come up with a way to get along with Schubert. In fact, I think she's out in the wilderness on patrol this morning. You should be able to find her around Stormbear Mountains.
Thanks, Amber. All right, you heard her. Let's go find Eula.
Good luck, you two. I've got my own matters to investigate.
Alright, see you, Amber.
The Knights have a member of the Lawrence clan. Well, if you want to learn about the conduct of the Lawrence clan, who better to ask than one of their own family members?
Yep. That's a good point, Paimon. You made a good point, Paimon. I'm going to the Stormbear Mountains now. Just had to get that dialogue out. If my good friend Gil was watching the stream, they'd be very excited that I'm doing Eula's quest, because they do love Eula. Oh, that's some Fatui.
The Fatui? What are they doing here? Is that why Eula was sent on patrol here? Let's fight first and talk later.
Oh, well, that was very easy. Paimon, why'd you make a fighting noise? Oh no, one guy with a gun. Oh, the guitar. Ooh, the budget went into this scene. Oh no, she's cool. Another Claymore character.
You don't think twice before reaching for your sword, do you? Do you have any idea how long I've been tracking these targets?
I don't know.
And now you get to stake a claim. You think you're stronger because you got to them first? Mark my words, vengeance will be mine.
Let's zoom in on her hips. I mean, if you want to brag about tracking them for this long, why didn't you just, like, take them out, like I did?
That's right. I heard the commotion and came as swiftly as I could, only to find you two already fighting the Fatui. Not only that, you are making quick work of them too.
That's because
if I
I'm
didn't make
cool.
my move, you would have been able to take all the credit. Still, I'm glad you're unscathed. Confronting that number of Fatui at once can be dangerous.
Actually, I'm quite used to fighting the Fatui.
Sorry, Paimon doesn't understand what you mean, but thanks for your concern.
Concern? Why would I be concerned for the safety of my arch enemies?
Arch enemies? Wait a minute. You were saying how glad you were that we were unscathed a second ago.
By which I meant, if you were injured, I'd have to escort two strangers guilty of stealing my targets all the way back to Mondstadt. Which would mean you'd cause me even more trouble. My vengeance would be swifter still.
Huh? So that's how you see all this?
Generally, the female character archetypes in this game are very, like, calm and secluded, sophisticated character. And then there's just very bubbly anime girl. I'm glad that she doesn't fit into the two banks of Genshin Impact female characters so far.
Yes, that's me.
Paimon thinks she's pretty strange. Although at least we can communicate with her.
You dare to call someone you've just met strange? Forget the aristocracy. That's rude even by normal standards. Speaking of which, how do you know my name?
This is the honorary knight of the Knights of Favonius. And speaking of rude, we're trying to investigate an aristocrat named Schubert Lawrence. He's so cat that he's not even willing to speak with us.
I understand now. That's my uncle, all right.
Yes, I see the
But why do
resemblance.
you mean to investigate him?
He may be secretly involved with the Fatui.
I see. You have some nerve to faming a family member right in front of me. I will have vengeance for this too.
No. This is an assignment from Master Jean. It's just an investigation, that's all.
Aren't you worried about your uncle?
To the everyday citizens of Mondstadt, everyone in the Lawrence clan is scum. It's natural for rumors and unwarranted gossip to lead to such suspicion.
Hard to avoid such a reputation when you're known as the ruthless rulers of old Mondstadt.
And
Oh,
slavers.
so that's what you think of me? Yet another transgression to avenge.
Alright, now it's getting old, lady.
Didn't you say it first? Oh,
You seem to have one gimmick.
Curious. We've only just met, and you've already given me 3 causes for vengeance. It's been a while since I've encountered anyone as interesting as you.
You take literally everything as a slight. I very much don't believe that I'm the only person who's given you 3 causes for vengeance when you jump to it that fast. Why do you seem so happy about it?
I assume you need me to teach you the conduct of the Lawrence clan. Only then will you finally be able to communicate with my uncle, correct?
that's right. Amber told us to come and talk to you.
Well then, let's begin your training immediately. It'll be easier to train when we're back in Mondstadt. We'll require other people.
But aren't you plotting vengeance against us?
We can put that aside for now. Besides, if it's the acting Grandmaster's assignment, and Amber's the one who recommended me, I should comply.
Because everybody loves Amber, including me.
Hyman's confused. This girl's all vengeance this and revenge that. But she doesn't seem the least bit angry. Still, Hyman has met bigger weirdos before.
This entire game is full of weirdos. I'm trying to think of, like, Arataki Ito Paimon. We've met Arataki Ito. That's a pretty big weirdo. Let's see. Who's a big, like, female like, probably both of the female, Archons are pretty big weirdos.
Ah, you finally arrived. There's no time to spare, so we'll begin with our first lesson.
Well,
Wait, hold
I guess
on.
all of the Archons
There's
are pretty big
something we need
weirdos
to
in this
clear
game.
up first. Otherwise, it'll keep bugging us.
About all that vengeance stuff.
So that's still on your mind, huh? Maybe you're the ones who can't let things go. Don't worry, there's a time and place for exacting vengeance. Besides, I'm not in the mood for any right now. Best save it for later.
You need to be in the right mood for vengeance.
I already have a long list of vengeance to exact. Even
Okay,
if
so
I
she
wanted
does
to
use
begin
it
now,
constantly.
I'd have to start in the right order. Who knows how long it will be before I get to you?
Well, if you have so much to take care of, wouldn't it just be easier to give us a clean slate?
Absolutely not. Stealing my targets, calling me a ruthless ruler, and suspecting my uncle. All worthy of vengeance in my eyes.
I mean, I didn't call you specifically a ruthless ruler. Just, that's what your family did in the past. She wasn't
But
kidding.
you needn't worry, at least not whilst we're investigating this matter. I'm sure you're familiar with the phrase, a man of moral integrity fears no slanderous attack. If Uncle Schubert didn't commit any wrongdoing, then any such investigation will prove fruitless. But if he did commit a wrongful act, then he should bear the full punishment. I'm sure you understand.
I think I'm starting to see what you mean.
Good. Now, there are 2 key points that aristocrats attach great importance to. Your manner of speech and your bearing. Let's begin with your manner of speech. Aristocrats have a very unique way of carrying conversation, even with mundane daily topics.
Oh, Paimon's already learned some unique conversation. Mark my words, vengeance will be mine!
No,
Not
no,
even
no, let her
close.
cook.
And besides, it sounds strange.
Yeah, it was strange when you did it.
I learned it from you! And didn't you say not to call others strange? It seems you don't respect the rules of your own clan.
No, I've no need to trouble myself with such frivolous formalities. Here, allow me to demonstrate. For example, when greeting a friend, you could say, "As the morning dew greets the coming dawn, so do I greet you, my dear friend."
As the morning dew does what now?
Greets the new dawn,
However,
Paimon.
such a phrase may only be used during the morning hours. Also, the party with whom you're speaking must be of approximately the same status as you. Morning dew is not uncommon, so it expresses that friendship should not be measured by value, yet also suggests that friendship between aristocrats is pure like water.
Seems like a lot of work just to greet a good friend.
Oh, no, no, no. You must be prudent with your words. Calling someone a good friend could easily offend them.
But didn't you just say my dear friend in your example? Hyman's confused.
Yes, I did. But you must know in the Lawrence family, dear friend is a set phrase that can only be used towards certain friends with whom one is acquainted, but not particularly close. It sounds much more pleasant to call an acquaintance a dear friend. So, another thing to remember. Aristocrats are concerned with face and being polite. However, if you were to use dear friend to address an intimate friend, the recipient would think that you were deliberately trying to estrange them.
You mean you always have to talk this way?
This is only the first step in making a greeting. After addressing one another, you then exchange courtesies.
Wait. This is all too abstract.
I don't find this abstract. This is very specific.
Perhaps it would be better if you gave some real-life demonstrations.
Ah. Very well. Come with me. We'll choose some bystanders to converse with.
Okay. Let's find Norman. He is the most normal man.
Oh, you're Eula of the Lawrence clan, right?
No, this does not start off
This
well.
can't be good.
You there, lowly laborer. You stand in the presence of a member of the illustrious Lawrence clan. I have words for you.
Oh, God.
Please acknowledge the glory bestowed upon thee by the nobility... what comes next? Oh, right. By
She's
solemnly
fumbling.
kneeling to the ground with utmost sincerity.
Huh? I can't make heads or tails of anything you're saying.
Hold on. What did they always teach me? Whenever a dispute arises, protection of your family's prestige and dignity always takes precedence. Got it. As a lowly commoner, you shall maintain absolute reverence when speaking with those under which you so graciously toil. How dare you speak in such a manner?
Is everyone from the Lawrence clan so strange?
So far, yes.
The days of the Lawrence clan's tyranny have long passed. I don't care what you're trying to do. Just beat it.
She's just giving us a demonstration. That's all. You got sucked into this, and she's being rude for no good reason.
Like I said, I don't care what you're doing. I have nothing to say to any member of the Lawrence clan. And here's a word of advice. I wouldn't be caught dead walking too closely with any one of their like in Mondstadt. If that's all, I'll be going.
Well, that seems a little extreme. Unless all of them do actually act like this.
Hey! Don't leave! Halt! Mark my words, vengeance will be mine!
That doesn't help, Eula. That just seems like your tick.
Wow. The Lawrence name really does carry a terrible reputation.
They also carry terrible
Never mind him.
attitudes.
I could have predicted as much. Let's find someone else.
Like, I'm not gonna feel bad for them if they're just acting like that. Don't teach your kids to talk to people like that, and you wouldn't get a bad rep.
You there, lowly toiler. You stand in the presence of a member of the illustrious Lawrence clan. I have words for you. Please acknowledge the glory bestowed upon thee by the nobility, and solemnly kneel to the ground with utmost sincerity.
I'm sorry, Lino.
Why don't you respond? According to the custom, I must wait until you kneel completely before I can say the next words. Ah, right. I mustn't look at you too long, or I'll be drawing more attention to our difference in status. Oh dear, I've already stared at you for quite a while. Fine.
Oh
You
no,
may
I'm beginning to
spare
like
yourself the
Eula
formality
less.
of kneeling, as it may be a little inconvenient. I shall continue. Oh, wait. I think there's a line for people with rude attitudes in this situation.
Hey, stop bothering me or else I might say something you wouldn't like to hear. Then again, I've got no words for anyone from the Lawrence clan.
Again? What's with this attitude?
What do you mean, what's with this attitude? She's going up to random people and telling them to acknowledge her glory and kneel. Maybe we should just stop for now. We're pestering people.
Yes, I don't think his attitude will change. If I keep grandstanding like this, the outcome won't be good. Let's try to find someone else to talk to. I'll remember your unwillingness to comply. Mark my words, vengeance will be mine.
I don't think you're just doing the Lawrence clan bit. I think every time you smack on the vengeance will be mine, that's actually Eula coming through, and it's a little off-putting. Randall. This guy looks like he's from Fontaine.
You there, lowly worker.
Yeah, I've already heard it all before. Look, just spare me the time. Our answer's always the same. We've got nothing to say to the likes of you. I mean, seriously, can't you just take a hint?
Please calm down. We don't want to cause any trouble.
I know she's a Knight of Favonius, and that the Knights wouldn't misplace their trust, but the name Lawrence carries too much weight with it. Even to this very day, the descendants of the Lawrence clan are still scheming to reclaim Mondstadt and reinstate their aristocratic rule. And if that wasn't enough, here you are purposefully using their awkward way of speaking just to put on an act? Don't you care for the feelings of us ordinary folk?
You have a point. But mark my words, this transgression will not go unnoticed.
Eula, please.
You want to fight? Listen here. I may be no match for you, but I'll be sure to lodge a complaint with the Knights of Favonius.
Maybe we should just call it a day now, like I've said, I think,
I'm
twice.
sorry, but I want her to understand that I'm serious. Listen here. If you don't want things to get more unpleasant, then you'd better just stop.
Forget it. There's no point in quarreling any further. Let's go.
I'm sorry, sir.
It's all right. This happens quite often. Let's find someone else to
No,
talk to.
I said we should stop.
Paimon thinks we've seen enough now.
Yes.
Let's just stop. Actually, Paimon thinks we should apologize for asking you to demonstrate for us. We had no idea the feelings between the Lawrence clan and the people of Mondstadt were so bitter.
Paimon, your bloom is so incredible.
What can we do? The Lawrence name is already a dirty word among every household in Mondstadt. Even 3-year-olds know the story. I see this kind of attitude all the
I
time.
somehow doubt 3-year-olds know the story. Starting to sympathize with you? No, I don't. I do not sympathize with you. Somehow you still manage to brush it off with a laugh?
Don't worry. What with me being a Knight of Favonius, they're usually willing to speak a few words with me. Perhaps my aristocratic manner of speech provoked them today. Believe me, it's not a big issue.
So this is the way things are normally for you? There's no need for them to direct their anger at you personally.
That's the way things are. Perhaps it's just fate for those who have made mistakes. Accepting punishment is only fair, right? But when your family has committed atrocities, I'm afraid there's no easy path to reconciliation. As memories are carried in the city breeze, the faults of such grievances are passed from one generation to the next. It is now my turn to bear this burden. At least I have a means of living a relatively normal life compared to the elders of my family. I have nothing to be discontented about.
So you knew all along that we'd encounter these kinds of problems.
Yeah, why were you so willing to try and demonstrate for us?
Oh, that reminds me. That last person will not escape my vengeance either.
What did Randall do?
Let's leave it at that. Just think of it as something I like to do. But unfortunately, you probably didn't learn much from those conversations. It seems we have no other choice but to find more people to talk to.
No need! Besides, the Traveler's pretty sharp, and nothing gets in our way on an adventure. Paimon thinks we got the gist of it now. Right? Right?
So, all three people that we talked to, she declared vengeance on. I'm beginning to think that the only reason we're the only people that lasted long enough to get 3 strikes of vengeance is because we're the only people who willingly spoke to her long enough for that to happen. I'm still not too sure I can do this.
We'll just have to roll with it for now. Let's just keep Eula from getting anyone else riled up.
Well then, I'm glad you learned something. You're already halfway toward mastering aristocratic conduct. A proper manner of speech is more aesthetic than anything else. It stems from their taste for refinement. But we must also practice your bearing. I have a very effective way of training for this. Come with me to Dragonspine.
Oh, I don't want to go to Dragonspine. Alright. How deep into Dragonspine do we have to go? She's going to teach us how to be bears. That's where we're going to the cold place to test out our fur. We're going to mark trees with our paws. That's a thing bears do, right? I'm not just thinking of...
There's little difference
Ooh,
between
my frames.
snow and rain, yet people lavish praise only upon the former. Fate can be truly arbitrary.
I'm not just thinking of, like, wolves, like Balto.
So cold! Does aristocrat training really need to be done here?
Because I remember him doing that in the
If you wish to
movie.
truly achieve the dignified conduct of an aristocrat, you must learn to remain composed and elegant even amidst harsh conditions. For example, you can see that part of the path up ahead is quite difficult to traverse. But a well-trained aristocrat would not only effortlessly proceed forward, but do so without a stain on their garment and their elegance fully intact.
Paimon thinks we've left the realm of aristocrats and entered the realm of adventuring. Compared to what we've already seen, this should be a piece of cake.
Yeah, I'm used to this kind of challenge. It's a wall.
This is where you can finally apply some of your adventuring knowledge.
You look pretty confident this time. All right, let's get started. Remember, you must be graceful and elegant. Don't get knocked or launched into the air. That would be most unsightly.
I mean, does it count if I fly into the air? Because I do that.
By royal decree.
Behold!
Oh, they want me to move past these things. That won't touch me. Alright, well. What if I just, ignore them?
That won't do.
Oops.
You've exposed your shortcomings.
Hold
No
on,
need
I
to
ran
worry.
into a
Head back to the
little
starting point and
thorny
try again.
bush. It's not that big of a deal. Calm down. Oh, the whole thing.
It'll be difficult. Remember, you...
Yep. Be elegant. Don't touch the thorns. Got it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.